Hello, everyone. Welcome to First Coast Living. I'm Casey DeSantis.
Hey, folks. Happy Victory Monday, Jaguars fans. I'm Curtis Dvorak. Well, it's a milestone of the oldest continually operating dinner theater in the country. That's right, the entire country. Tonight is the Alhambra's 50th birthday bash, and everyone's invited.
Everyone is invited. And Todd Booth is a former owner of the Alhambra, and Craig Smith is the current owner. Gentlemen, it is so good to see you. Thanks for being here.
It's our pleasure.
50 years ago, right? Alhambra, what a gem it's been to our community.
It's certainly been a special place to both Todd and I and the folks that came before us. We love to say we're in the business of memories. So many of us have childhood memories there with our families and our grandparents, and so when I'm out in the community, that's what I hear most of all, of our parents took us, our grandparents took us, and that kind of thing. So that's why we love it so much.
And I've been there for 35 years, so I've seen parents and grandparents and 3 generations almost.
Yes, it's become a tradition for a lot of families, right? To come
and I've
to
lived
get a
through
good
them
meal.
all.
And you've lived through them all. And you've done just a little bit of everything. Hearing about your background in Chicago and New York and directing on Broadway. And then you bought this theater, what, in 85?
85,
Who's
yes.
counting?
Who's
counting? And you were directing and producing a lot of plays, but now you can see this guy up close and
That's right.
personal. You're Scrooge.
Yes, bah humbug.
Bah humbug.
Yes, get a heck out of kids. Merry Christmas.
10 performances a week you're doing.
It keeps you off the streets.
There you go. Keeps you busy.
But as both you guys, having been there and put your heart and soul into this place, what does it feel like right now? I mean, at 50 years in, this is a big celebration going on tonight, and then, I mean, to get a proclamation right here from the mayor declaring how important you guys have been to this city and what a landmark you are. What does that feel like?
You know, Curtis, the gentleman that started the theater in 1967, none of us ever, you're in business, none of us ever go in business to be a legend or to create this legacy that the Alhambra has. You go into business to pay your bills and pay your staff, and maybe you make some money. And yet we're 50 years later, and what was started is just a little business venture turned into something, an icon in our community, and something that so many of us love and cherish, particularly myself. And so it really, I don't think they had a clue 50 years ago where we would be standing today. 6 people from the original opening night will be with us tonight for our 50th party.
And it is going to be a party too. And it was neat looking at some of those photos from long ago and seeing just the history play out in front of us on the screen. But the party is tonight, right?
Right.
So Dean Martin's coming, Elvis is coming, Chris Thomas Band is going to be there playing the night away. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Harry Frisch will be joining us, who was very instrumental in keeping the theater going, a dear friend of Todd and I. And of course, like I said, the original owner, the original artistic director. So the Todd and I, this picture was set in July of '67. Todd and I did that picture last year. So this pair and this pair will all be there tonight together. And so that's a lot of fun to us.
Is that picture taken outside, like on the original plot of land?
Yes.
That was in July of '67. They opened the doors December 13th of '67. You couldn't get the permits today to build it that fast. So it's kind of funny.
Well, that is one of the unique things about the Alhambra. I've lived here 21 years, and you know, in business, location, but it's just so it's so unique that Beach Boulevard, there was nothing around it, and now everything has grown right into you guys.
Yeah.
This is Frank Gorshin here. If you remember Frank Gorshin, the comedian, the impressionist, he did a show for us, and Frankie and I have been friends for 30 years.
He was on the Batman. He was the Riddler on Batman.
That's right.
in our day.
Yes. And he would perform, and after the show every night, he'd do a little afterpiece where he'd do some characters. And he says, "Yes, I'm playing the Alhambra Theater, right next door to nothing."
Boy, not the case anymore, but nowadays.
Nothing there at the time he was there.
Are you guys going to be able to tell some of these stories tonight at the event and tell,
Absolutely.
get on stage? And I mean, obviously, you
Stories that can be told, yes.
can be told. What about the
Some
ones
cannot be told.
maybe by the bar you can tell those stories?
And there's several of those in the book as well. They wrote a 50-year history. Chuck Day wrote a great book on the 50-year history of the theater. And I never dreamed it would turn out to be so interesting and fascinating. People run into me in the Publix and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I read the book. It was so great." So
A
Todd's
lot of
in
wonderful
a throne.
stories.
A lot of wonderful
stories. I wanted some Civil War rifles for my show Shenandoah. How do I get? No one's going to send me Civil War rifles, so
Amazon Prime.
I
right?
sent it to the sheriff. And the sheriff calls me and says, "Todd, did you order rifles? Who else would want these things?"
Oh my gosh.
So I had to go over and pick them up. I didn't know how else to handle it, you know.
Well, tonight there's going to be all kinds of storytelling and a good time at the Alhambra, the 50th birthday bash. Tonight, starting at 5:30. Get down there, folks. You can buy your tickets now by visiting alhambrajacks.com. Really cool.
Good to
Thanks
see you,
for being here,
gentlemen.
guys.
Thanks for being here.
Our pleasure.
Exciting
Thanks
stuff
for having
tonight.
us. We appreciate it.